I am Maurizio Ferrari da Crema, here with Cataldo Musto to present the highlights of the reproducibility track, which we had the pleasure to co-chair with Michael Compan and Marco Polignano. Now, the track has accepted 4 different types of contributions. The first one is reproducibility and replicability papers, which is the most traditional type of work where a research group, attempts to reproduce the results reported in a paper from another research group using the description of the method, the original artifact, source code, and data. When this is possible, that's great. When the results are not reproducible, this may point to a problem in the way the method is described, a discrepancy in the processing, or a deeper issue. The track also accepted resource papers, for example, new datasets for offline evaluation, as well as open source evaluation frameworks for recommendation tasks. But this is only a part of the picture, because in a healthy scientific community, we must always rediscuss accepted practices, reevaluate how we do things to assess whether these methods we adopt are pushing us in the right direction, and see if something must be kept, something must be adjusted or changed. So the track also accepted methodology papers that discuss protocols for reproducibility tasks, as well as new validated measurement scales for user-centered evaluation. Lastly, but just as important, the track also accepted reflective works, guidelines for reproducibility, surveys on reproducibility levels, and so on. Now, this year, the program committee was composed by 90 people, 19 senior members and 71 regular ones. Compared to last year, we introduced a new reproducibility reviewer with the task of checking the source code and data artifacts provided by the submissions for which this was required. Overall, we received 45 submissions compared to 36 in 2024. As a whole conference, this track as well is growing at a healthy pace over the years. 22 of them were accepted, so the acceptance rate remained comparable with last year. 7 were accepted as oral presentations and 15 as posters. The splitting among the categories is this: 9 are reproducibility and replicability papers, 3 of which were presented orally. 9 are resource papers, 1 is a methodology paper, and 3 are reflective papers.
Hi everyone, here you have a list of the papers that were accepted at the track. Some of the presentations have been already held, but you still have 2 that can be followed. One of them will be after the coffee break, and it's an extension of popular data sets for multimodal recommendations, and another one is the afternoon session and is about bias exploration. We also have 15 posters accepted, and you will find them in the usual location throughout the day. Before the coffee breaks, just a few statistics about the track. This is a distribution of the authors of the track. As you can see, it is a bit different from the authors distribution we have seen for the main track, with the majority of authors coming from Europe, and of course this is something we can think about. Top topics discussed in the paper submitted at this track. We have usual topics such as sequential recommendations and large language models, but also something that is a bit more, let's say, niche topics such as user simulation or popularity bias. And of course, there is some work about data sets for making reproducible studies. Word cloud of the main topics in the paper accepted at the track. As you can see, again, we have something that is very specific for the reproducibility track. So we have words such as artifact, datasets, and evaluation of the system. So again, it's a bit different than the distribution we have seen for the papers of the main track. Regarding the framework that are used, even if we have a very large list of frameworks that can be used, most of the work exploited Elliott, Reckball, and Karnak as framework for the evaluation of the reproducibility papers. That's it. I hope you will enjoy the papers we have selected for the track, and we can go for the coffee break, I think.